Hello. All right, I'm good. Goodbye. Um, yeah, Dean's up here. You didn't ask if Dean was on headset. You asked if he's up here. I have my D2 reads. Are they going to help? That's a negative. That's a positive. We shall figure it out. Yes. Yes.
Ah, crap.
Wallet, keys, phone, stool. Good. Oh, stools are great. You can see everything. They hate when I mess with their.
Stars and Strikes Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
Stars and Strikes Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, takes us into Dorchester County tonight. Ashley Ridge hosting Cane Bay, the annual matchup of the Cobras and the Swamp Foxes. And we welcome you inside, Darren Goldwater and the ABC News 4 main anchor, Dean Stevens. The next time tonight will happen. It's a harvest moon. It's Friday the 13th.
Yep.
It won't happen again for 30 years. So if you're superstitious and we're around sports, so probably are, how will it affect the game?
I think you get wacky plays tonight. I think you get weird bounces. I think we get maybe more than one time going, can you believe that happened?
Maybe. And maybe it'll come from the B-back, the fullback in the option offense. That's Leon Staley. So far, he's been the bell cow of the offense.
Listen, Cane Bay's not going to try to disguise what they want to do, right? They're going to line up. They're going to try to run the football. That's the guy who's going to carry the rock for this team, and he needs to carry a lot tonight.
On the other side of things, Matt Duncan is going to carry the ball a little bit. He's put on some size. He's hit the weight room. He's committed to Temple to play quarterback, but he's a dual threat guy.
His stats have not been great through the air, not hitting guys in the ear. But
It's the moon.
But it's been a different kind of statistical season for him the first two games in. They'd like to air it out, get a couple hundred, if not 300 yards passing tonight.
Ashley Ridge and Cane Bay, both 1-1, both shut out by Fort Dorchester for their loss and trying to get on the right track. On Stars and Strikes Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Welcome to this edition of Stars and Strikes Friday Night Rivals, driven as always by our good friends at Cruz Chevrolet. Opening possession of the game will be in the hands of the Swamp Foxes and the senior commit to Temple here, number 11, the lefty, Matt Duncan, and they will start this drive from the 33. Glad you're with us. Dean Stevens, Darren Goldwater, and a busted play that has Matt Duncan break through the opening tackle and still work his way up that sideline. And, Dean, that's exactly what we were just talking about. He's put on a little bit of weight, and he has the ability to not just make you miss, but kind of go through you.
That was the first thing I noticed when I saw him down on the field warming up, is that this is a kid who's thick, right? Thick. Put on a lot of good weight. You and I, we talk about putting on bad weight. He put on good weight. And you can see right there, I mean, was looking at the loss of 1 or 2, got his legs going, quick stiff arm, and now he's at a second and manageable.
He's been starting for 4 years. That after his brother Steven started for 3. He started as a true freshman, did Matt. Gets it to Owen Ratliff, so far the leading receiver, and he's got a first down, stiff-arming a man as he works his way out of bounds.
Yeah, quick swing pass. Arm strength has never been in question for Matt Duncan. Even we saw him, 2 years ago when he was a sophomore. Probably had a few more weapons, a few more skill players, but very accurate, puts it right on the money, and then Ratliff takes care of the rest.
Ashley Ridge survived Goose Creek in the opener. And then both teams took it on the chin from Fort Dorchester. One of the reasons they couldn't get Grant free. There he goes with a flag on the field.
Flag at the 30.
If it stands, we got a 50-yard touchdown run, but it could be coming back.
It is coming back. If you take a look at the far side back judge, it's as if he is directing traffic back the other way. You see Grant come to the left side, carry seal block by the running back. That's number 22, Cordell Gadsden. And that really sprung the hole for Grant.
For the year, Grant enters the game averaging just short of 3 yards a carry and 24 total yards on the ground. So that would have doubled his total. Holding is 10 yards from the spot, though, so it's 1st and 5. We've already seen Ashley Ridge mix up their formations here a little bit. Duncan pulls it, shovels the underhand option here to Grant, and then Grant goes barreling over. I believe it was Crawford, 21. You know what it was? Carter, 33.
Grant turns that corner, and if he doesn't stop, he picks up a few more yards, tries to get the defender to miss, but a nice play by the cornerback to step up.
Game time and temp brought to you by Roper St. Francis. It's 82 degrees. The real feel is in the mid to upper 80s, but I got to tell you, being down on the field minutes ago, it's really not a terrible September night. Relatively calm. Here's Grant, another big hole. Grant ripping through arm tackles, and he's down to the 21. 16 more for Grant and another first down. Brought to you by Low Country Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
There's Brennan Nichols putting his nose right into the play. You can't shirt tackle anybody. Nichols then steps in to bring Grant down at about the 21.
So there's been one completion on this drive, one penalty, and a whole lot of Troy Grant, the 5'7" junior. Duncan gives it to Grant once more, gets a nice block, and then lays another hit there on Austin Carter. 33 has been coming up to make the stop, and he has taken a couple hits.
Number 67, Hampton Smith, puts his 285 pounds to good use. See him squaring up there, taking out the defender. At some point, Nichols is going to have to say, I need to not be the leading tackler here today.
Fortunately for the two of them, I've now mixed them up twice, so they each have one tackle taking the shot there from Grant. Catino's now in as the deep back. Gaston is the fullback, so the first time we've seen this pair of running backs. Duncan spun around as he gets towards the edge. It's the safety, Jerian Mitchell, and it'll be a 3rd and short.
I think you see a little bit of that new wrinkle of the offense that we see with the new coordinator here. In years past, we don't really see Duncan run the play action as much as just sitting back in the pocket.
Your offensive starters presented by Spinks, making life easier. The offensive line listed first, Cameron Petrick, second one from the top. The most veteran guy on this line. He's the main hog on this offensive line. He's really been starting for 4 years. Here's the second man through, and he won't be able to get through. As we get a look at our starting defense on the first carry there from Coutinho. Also brought to you by Spinks. It's a very young defense. Zyke Johnson, 61, was the player of the week against West Ashley. He comes into this one with 16 tackles for the year. That stop forces a 4th and about 3, so they'll kick this away with Will McCune.
About a 3.5-minute drive, 7 plays.
And a 31-yard try is no good.
Take it to the left.
Unofficially, I've got it at 8 plays there. And then a missed field goal. So we remain scoreless as Cane Bay gets their first crack at it. And if you haven't seen Cane Bay play in the last, 10 years since they've been around,
yes,
they're still running the triple option.
Yes.
So it all predicates on the quarterback B-back exchange, and they don't have a whole lot of guys with experience on either side. Let's get some keys from Dean Stevens.
Well, I think for Cane Bay here, it's got to be trench warfare, and they've got to win it. And that simply means they've got to handle the line of scrimmage offensively, because that's how their offense run. They're not going to want to throw the ball too much. They're going to want to run it. And as for Ashley Ridge, it is simply a slam Duncan. They need Duncan to play a good game today.
I like it. Whistles bring this one dead before it happens.
Because 2 things happened last week, right? They both get shut out. First time both teams have been shut out since, I think, 2013. They get shut out in a decisive manner, or should I say 2 weeks ago. The Fort Dorchester loss by Cane Bay was 49-0. I think it had, 100 yards total offense?
Yes.
Right? And then for Ashley Ridge, they get blanked by Berkeley, 40-0.
Yes.
So both of those losses, I'm not sure you could ever say a hurricane came at a good time, but maybe for these 2 teams, they came at a good time. Gave them a week to think about what happened and a week to regroup, even though they weren't able to work out.
Yeah, spent that whole week like everyone else, pretty much holed up in their house. Leon Staley with the carry, and he is swarmed by Anthony Jackson, who we'll tell you about here in a second. First, we'll give you Cane Bay's offense, again brought to you by Spinks. First-year starter Xavier Mitchell-Brown is the quarterback. 68 carries in his career so far for a very young offense for the Cobras. Defensively, also brought to you by Spinks. We told you 77 just made that stop. He's somewhere on that list. Anthony Jackson, a second-year starter and a big senior. Here's Mekhi Francis getting across the 15 and hit late. So Ashley Ridge will tack on 15 yards to that run from Francis.
And that was, I think, number 96 that came in late on that play for Ashley Ridge. Or 86, should I say. Caden DuBois.
So a false start, and then a run with a 15-yard penalty tacked on in Cane Bay.
I don't
ever out to about the 30.
Want to advocate for a late hit anytime, but that was a bad time for one, simply because they're looking at a 3rd and long and an offense that is struggling to pick up yardage.
Again, you see Jackson in on that stop. It's kind of a strength versus strength here thing. If Cane Bay wants to establish this dive, then they're also going to be running at Anthony Jackson quite a bit.
Right. But you got to pick your poison, right?
Yes.
So, and I really thought on that play that Mekhi Francis, he looked like he was about to set up, pull it up, and throw the ball downfield. But get used to this look.
And this is a look that's churned out a couple of big-time talents, one of which is starting, I believe he's starting for South Carolina, Roderick, in the defensive backfield. I think he's starting for him at safety. He was a quarterback here for a while, then he played both ways for about a year or two.
Listen, there's been some great talent to come out of both of these programs. And every time we see Ashley Ridge over the last couple of years, I don't know if we've seen better skill players from Mario Doctor, the running back, some wideouts. Just struggle to put everything together.
That's illegal procedure on Kane Bay, so it'll back him up to about a 3rd and 8. An encroachment.
Yeah, so when you're 3rd and 4, it's manageable with this offense. When you're looking at 3rd and 8, you flip over to that page that says 3rd and 8 plays on it. How many pass plays are on that page?
Not a ton, not with this offense. Mitchell Brown has thrown 6 passes this year. He has thrown 18 in his career. And the guy behind him has really the best pass of the year thus far for Kane Bay, Alex Mark. They'll pitch one out here to Keyshawn Smalls, and Smalls is tracked down. So that's Dubois again. It was his hit late that helped Kane Bay pick up 15 extra yards. And it's his tackle racing down the line of scrimmage that brings up 4th down for the Cobras.
But how about number 1, Khalil Whitaker? He's the one that took on the blocker almost like he was like a tackle. He just bowled over. It's number 20, Kai Francis. I thought for a minute if he could seal that edge, if Francis could, they may get a 1st down. And all of a sudden,
this punt has to just be fallen on here by Presley. The in-between hop back to him, mishandled, and there was your guy Whitaker again, first one to touch him down. So Ashley Ridge will take over right there, just outside the 20. When we get you back here to Ashley Ridge. Storms in the distance, better go away. I'm trying to see this full moon. 5:45 to play here in the first quarter. Special Stars and Stripes Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet, because we get to introduce a new 3rd member to our crew. Brooke Schwieters is down there. Welcome in.
Yeah, guys, how's it going? You guys, this is a big night here in Ashley Ridge for this rivalry game here in Dorchester County. Joining me is the person who's really uplifting high school football with Stars and Stripes, John Caffarella. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. So, okay, tell me. All right, well, we almost got hit by a football player, but we've got food to talk about. All right, so you've got already a delicious menu. You've got burgers and wings, but you've got something else going on for the holidays.
So we obviously cater holiday parties, corporate events, and we have great like shrimp and grits, pot roast, prime rib. We have action stations where we cut the meat in front of you. We have desserts. It's awesome to come in and enjoy a holiday party with.
Sounds delicious. And then the other thing you've got going on, something great for the kiddos. If they're wearing their jerseys, tell us a little bit about that too.
Yeah, so now through October, every Saturday, support your team. Cheerleaders as well, wear your jerseys, come in and get a 1-hour unlimited game card.
All right, awesome. And we have got a check presentation. Guys, you've got a check for us. Guys, I think you have a check for us. All right, over here for the home team here. What an awesome contribution. Back to you guys.
Hey, Brooke. Brooke, we have a new segment coming up. It's called the Schweeder's Hit of the Night.
Does that require
I'm
her
not
to be
looking
hit?
forward to that one, guys.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. You almost took one for the team.
I told you that when I got here. This is going to happen.
You're
Friday
good.
the 13th.
Harvest Moon. Thanks, Brooke.
So with this Harvest Moon and us always complaining that corporate doesn't give us enough highlights, if she gets hit, I bet we could get a highlight.
Yes, there's no question. If the sideline reporter gets taken out by a football player, that it definitely makes the Thursday night reel for halftime on Friday. Absolutely.
We should point out that it's now 10 years that ABC News 4 Friday Night Rivals has been giving $500 to every participating host school to help make their school great. Been giving out a couple $100,000 throughout the now 10 years of Friday Night Rivals.
And every year we have just such a great list of partners and sponsors that want to be a part of this broadcast, be a part of the community. This year, Stars and Strikes stepping up, doing their part. Really want to thank them as well.
Don't forget, coming up at the half, an opportunity to get interactive with us. Even more so than in years past, you can go online, abcnews4.com/poll for the Rockstar Cheer of the Night. You'll hear from the Ashley Ridge cheerleaders and the Cane Bay cheerleaders and vote. And whoever picks up more votes wins. Generally how polls go. Second down and goal. Duncan with the pitch to Grant in his ear hole. Then it's popped free. And Cane Bay had 3 guys around it initially.
They're not acting like they got the fumble. Maybe the pile's too big and they just have no idea. But what a great hit. Stepping up. Is that number 1?
Sure was.
Andre Green. And a job well done also by the wide receiver, because I thought the block in the back was coming right about there, and he stepped away. Green puts his helmet on the ball. I think the receiver, was that Grant? I think he got the fumble back.
I think he must have gotten the fumble back. He was the only one with arms in that pile underneath white jersey. First drive stalled out. They missed a 31-yard field goal. This one started just outside the 20. Duncan is deflected, and it falls incomplete.
Thomas Allen coming across the middle of the linebacker, getting a hand on it. Duncan had a small window to go through, and watch a nice play. Coming across, really well done. Really well played.
Duncan's almost fortunate that wasn't intercepted. It had a tail on it.
Right.
Coming from a lefty, I guess a bit of a hook to that throw. It was drifting towards the oncoming defender. Will McCune's second crack at it here. This one from 25. And that one is good. Once they figured it out.
It was like, well, here's the problem. McCune put it so far up in the air. I think the referees under each goalpost were a bit confused.
And if you look out there, it is a little darker towards that end zone, in the back of that end zone.
And if you look over there, you'll see that the goalpost is tilted a bit to the left as you look at it straight on.
Ever so slightly.
I think the new goalpost name is Dorian.
I see what you did there. Appreciate the Ashley Ridge statistics crew. We can give you some stats here. Troy Grant's got 46 yards on 6 carries. Duncan's hit on one of his 2 passes, and that went to Owen Ratliff for 12 yards. So far, Cane Bay has lost 11 yards rushing.
Some early mistakes by both teams here in the first quarter. And again, you're coming off a week where there was no practice time at all during that week of Dorian. Nothing. Ashley Ridge had a film session on Monday, but they knew they weren't going to play Stratford. So really a game to get the rust off.
This is Burgess here, and he will crawl out to about the 19, eventually put down there by Horbeck.
Yeah, he turned that corner thinking he was going to find a corner. All he found were 3 maroon jerseys led by Malik Horbeck. You keep looking up and down these rosters, you see a lot of sophomore, freshmen for Ashley Ridge. The Cane Bay roster, I don't even have like years, grades, simply because I think they lost 30 seniors off of last year's team.
It's
30.
It's super young. Makai Francis, who's a starter at the slot, this is the first year he's had a carry with varsity. He's a junior. Leon Staley, it's really the first year getting significant amount of carries, and here's another one for him. The bruising fullback carries a defender. Enough for the first down out to the 30.
I like how he runs. Kind of straight up. And then if you want to come try to get me, you better bring some friends and move the sticks.
Dylan Sullivan, the senior who made the stop, getting back from a little bit of an injury. So he's had, an extra week to get over that.
Yeah, but you lose 30 seniors, 5 of your top 7 rushers, 9 of your top 10 tacklers.
Yeah, it's going to be a long, sleepless offseason for any head coach. Target there was Isaiah Watson. It brings up second down. And the same can be said for Ashley Ridge. This defense, they lost 3 starters on the defensive line, 5 senior linebackers, and a starting corner and safety. So these teams,
they're young,
are very young. I think you can expect big things from them in a year or two.
And that's why Kenny Walker, who just turned 50, said, I'm more tired than I've ever been.
Staley is hammered down again there by Jackson. He's one of the guys that is back. He led the team in terms of the returners with 53 tackles a year ago.
I think if I've got a choice of who do I want coming back, am I going to take my nose guard? Am I going to take a linebacker, or am I going to take a DB? Right? I think I may take the guy on the line first.
Certainly against an option. See if you can break down that offensive line a little bit. Third down for the Cobras. They come back the other way now with Makai Francis, and he is spun down at the 49.
You know, I'm a big fan of the guys up front, right? The big uglies, I like them. Take a look at Savaloria, number 55, on the corner, taking care of Jackson. He kept him off just enough to spring that run for Francis.
And that was Sullivan again who made that stop. That's the end in the tackle. Dubois and Jackson in on that stop there is Stanley.
And I think when you have an offense that runs like they do, I think they'll take 3 yards, a cloud of grass every time, right? Put you in a situation where you're 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. You're hoping maybe the running back's going to be able to pop one for 10 or 12 and just ball control. No.
Not that time. They have had a couple of openings, but the more they rush straight ahead, the more Anthony Jackson is in on the stops. I mean, he must have 6 or 7 tackles here in the quarter.
Well, I think if you're the quarterback, you got to know where 77's lined up. And I think that's the player you play off of when you make a decision who gets the ball. So Jackson's the bottom of your screen.
Normally he's on the inside, so they walked him down to the end for this third down play, which is up the gut where Jackson was, and it's Stanley who goes right through that spot, gets all the way up to the 3rd level, and it is Connor Bish, the junior linebacker, who takes him down inside the 30.
Well, this is the guy that we spotlighted at the beginning of the game, and you've seen 2 long runs on this drive now. And given a chance and given a hole as they move Jackson back over, looks to be over the middle now.
And on the other side.
And now I'm going left. I'm going to let the big fella chase me from behind.
See how the Swamp Foxes adjust pre-snap. They didn't. There was a huge opening. Instead, Staley has it popped free, and it's the quarterback Mitchell Brown who throws them down. Delray Ford recovering that fumble.
And Malachi Jones down at about the 20-yard line. looked like something came flying from the back judge. I'm not quite sure what it was. I think there was just a problem with the transfer from Xavier to Leon's problem there.
I think Staley was possibly expecting less contact. There was nobody over the ball. So 2 possessions for Cane Bay. One ended in a bad snap on a punt.
Yep.
And the second one ends in a fumble, ending the drive as the Swamp Fox is back up here.
Oh, no.
Guess who?
Yeah. Anthony Jackson says, I'll just put my big paw in there and just slap it to the ground. And again, he went over the guard gap, and Jackson came over about 2 spots. So that's how quick he is. We see how big he is. Now we find out how quick he is.
6'2", 210, maybe 220-pounder Matt Duncan here. Balanced in the pocket, deflected and almost picked off. I think he was hoping for Gabe Salmons, their number 4, but Andre Green was there again.
I think he had him early. I think he had him early in the route. Like he wants to go there, and he waits a click.
Nice play by Green.
Andre Green comes in again with a second big play in as many possessions.
It's odd that now really for 7 years, 8 years almost, there's been a Duncan quarterbacking the Swamp Foxes here on the edge. This is Richard Brown, and he got back about what was lost on the penalty 2 plays ago, maybe 7 yards there to Brown. But it's never been, even with the prolific quarterbacks who are Division I caliber, Stevens at Western Kentucky. Now Matt is heading off to Temple. It's never been a hugely pass-heavy offense. They've been balanced. They've always had guys. You mentioned Romero Doctor, who went on to an outstanding Division II career at Newberry. That's the end of the first quarter. It'll be the Swamp Foxes looking at a 3rd down and 8 when we bring you back to Stars and Strikes Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. That's the Harvest Moon.
That is.
Everyone's talking about it and the fact it is occurring on the 13th.
Yep.
So Dean, who works with the best meteorologists in the Lowcountry,
I do.
He can explain what a Harvest Moon is.
Well, here's the other great part of tonight. As I was walking up to the press box tonight, I made a couple of buddies.
Okay.
Mason and Bryson. Bryson left me, but Mason's here. He's like, how old are you? He's 9. So we're going to tell him, so the Harvest Moon's a big moon, so it gives the farmers more light to harvest their crops. How about that? Let's get back to football.
The more you know. So a scoreless first quarter for Cane Bay. Ashley Ridge hit on one of 2 field goals, and on 3rd and long, they come back here to Ratliff. This play is snuffed out, but Ratliff, with the individual effort, spins his way close to a first down. He will be about 2 yards short of the yard to gain, but he made it interesting.
That's why he's his favorite target. Even looking at 3rd and long instead of going down the field, he's got faith in Ratliff to try to make something happen, and he surely did for about 10 yards.
Dampier is the punter. I believe it's the 2nd year he's been handling the punting duties and gets a heck of a roll here. That will be about a 44-yard kick.
Yeah, well done. Good hop. Good run.
Let's check in with Brooke Schwieters to tell us a little bit more about that M&J that you see on the field.
Yeah, guys, this is a really, really cool act of what I would say sportsmanship. Check this out. The Cane Bay Cobras sent a card to the Ashley River Swamp Foxes. Check this out. Ashley Ridge, excuse me. This is in memory of Miss Jenkins. This is one of their guidance counselors who lost her life recently. They sent this card to their team. They wrote messages like, "She may be gone physically, but she will never be gone in our hearts." This is all written by, I believe, cheerleaders and players who sent them this card. Guys, what an act of true sportsmanship this really is. One team really uplifting another one.
All right, Brooke, thank you. She passed away in a car accident. She was a guidance counselor here for several years at Ashley Ridge. Passed away this past week.
Avid triathlete, and the MJ is on the 33-yard line because she was 33 years old. This will be 3rd down coming up here for the Cobras, just underway in the 2nd quarter. Both offenses slow to get on track. The Swamp Foxes have moved it better than the Cobras to this point, but penalties have set them back a bit.
I think Coach Zier would tell you it's not been the cleanest 14 minutes of football by his Cobras right now, but probably happy to be down just 3-0.
I think they're fortunate to be down just 3-0. That ball's on the turf for the 2nd straight play. And guess who's the first one into the backfield? It's Anthony Jackson on his way to what I would presume would be a career night if this keeps up.
I can't imagine it not being. But I tell you what, quick off the ball, knows for where the ball is going to be, gets down the line really well.
He's going to have a highlight tape to throw up there on Huddle just from this game. Punting's been a little bit of a hiccup for Cane Bay tonight. That's a better snap back to Presley, and under big pressure from Whitaker. Still gets one off that tumbles down close to the 35-yard line. So we'll step aside here from Ashley Ridge. They used to be the 2 newest schools.
Yeah.
But now they're not. Oceanside, Philip Simmons. I guess we're getting old. It's Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet. We are having some fun up here at Ashley Ridge for Stars and Strikes Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. I point out the moon, especially on camera here, is so bright it looks like the sun.
Right. And then our intern, Mason, who's 9, said to you,
but the sun is a star.
Duh.
And he said it with much more of a duh inflection.
Yeah, I like it.
But, I mean, Mason's parents are, they got him going in the right direction.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Anytime you can throw me under the bus, you're doing something well.
See if Duncan can get his team going in the right direction.
76 yards of total offense to this point for Ashley Ridge, and they will say that Brown is down right there.
What a nice play by Thomas Allen. Allen going to step up, beat his blocker, make the open field tackle. We already saw the speed of Grant earlier in this game. If he's able to split that tackle, it's not a play for no yardage. He's picking up yardage there.
Cane Bay's had one sizable drive. It ended in a fumble. All told, they've got 65 rushing yards, and there is 76 total yards of offense here for Duncan's Swamp Foxes. That ball is zipped on the money to Salmons, who lunges forward. That should be enough for the first down with Green there in coverage.
They've called Green's name quite a bit tonight. Another nice open field tackle. It was an interesting alignment. Duncan had 3 receivers set to the top, and he comes down to his guy on the lower part of your screen, Gabe Simmons. Now this is an offense that could speed up and keep Cane Bay off balance a bit.
Here's Cameron Catino's second carry, and he is spun around as he picks up about 6. Catino, like Grant, ahead of him. Kenny Walker considers them both kind of slashers. And then there's Chris Garland, who they want to start working into the rotation a bit that we haven't seen.
Does a nice job being patient, waiting for his block. Jaron Centers kind of runs behind big number 65.
Duncan's 2 for 3 thus far on the night. Checking he's 3 for 4, but this one stays on the ground for another first down pickup. That's Cordell Gaston, his 8th carry of the year, only a sophomore, but the depth here at running back, it gives him the ability to rotate guys.
Watch how shifty he is once he gets in the hole. Picks up another nice interior block by Centers again. Centers finding himself in the middle of the play, even though he's on the left side of the line.
It's another Low Country Orthopedics and Sports Medicine first down for these Swamp Foxes. On the move about halfway through the second quarter. Oh, crushing block, huh?
I love it.
That's Cameron Catino. 7 more.
Devon London came up. Who was that? That was Gaston. Gaston comes. I don't know if it's actually a block or it's just like a diversion. It's a diversionary tactic.
Well, and then it's London who came back and made that play. So you blow up a blocker, turn around, and track down the play after 5 yards.
Put a couple of nice pops in this game. Got a size advantage for Ashley Ridge, top of the screen. Let's see if Duncan takes care of it. Nope, we're going to stick to the run.
And spun down right around the line of scrimmage is Garland. So that's the first carry for Garland.
We've seen, 4 guys carry the ball tonight?
We have. And Garland is the one from the farthest away. He grew up in Kansas and just moved out here. So he's got 2 years of eligibility left, and Kenny Walker thinks very highly of Garland. Kind of down the road as he starts to understand this offense a bit. Walker thinks big things could be ahead. So Brown's the motion man here on 3rd down. And it'll be in the air and almost intercepted. That one was targeted. It looked like right at Devin London.
That ball comes in hot.
Yes.
Right, I like the quick release. He had him open there, but it was coming in hot. You know, the other interesting thing I've noticed, and I don't know if this has been changed or if it's different, but you watch Duncan as they're going to go ahead and roll out and go for it on 4th down here. Watch how low he crouches when he's behind the center. I don't know where the advantage is there or if he's comfortable doing it. I can't imagine if he wasn't comfortable, he wouldn't do it. So we're going to have to get a timeout.
Ashley Ridge.
6, 8, 10. Had a player come in late.
Second timeout used by the Swamp Foxes gives us a chance to check back in with Brooke Schwieters.
Yeah, Dean and Darren, good evening. Guys, who doesn't love peanut butter and jelly? I know I do. I know these guys do. This is Pete Wagner and Ebby Jones. They're with Synovus. Guys, tell me a little bit about what happened with, I know we had a little bit of a shakeup with Dorian, but the PB&J contest still went on. Tell me a little bit about it.
So Synovus likes to create a little bit of challenge with the community, with the schools that were participating in Friday Night Lights. And not only on the field, but they like to create a little competition off the field to see who can raise and get the most jars of peanut butter and jelly and donate those to the food bank.
Yeah.
So the winner each week of doing this, they get a $250, plus they also get a chance to win $2,500 at the end of the season.
So obviously these guys weren't able to raise money, or they weren't able to play, but the fact that they still got to do this, what do you think about that, the fact that they still did?
I think that shows the great team spirit within the Charleston community, and we're proud to be a part of that.
Yeah, and what are you guys looking forward to tonight? Obviously a big rivalry game here at Ashley Ridge.
Just the fans. I mean, that's what it's all about, watching the fans, the community come out, support their football teams, and obviously it's a good game, 3-0 right now. That's what it's all about. I mean, this is our future community right here in the stands and on the field.
It really is. All right, guys, thank you so much. Dean, Darren, I'll send it back to you.
So, Brooke, while we got you, you a crunchy girl or you're a smooth?
Guys, I think I'm a crunchy girl.
Absolutely.
Nice.
But I don't know. Maybe I should just switch over because clearly my luck has run out today because...
Why?
Because, guys, I almost died on the side of the field.
No. It would have just been a little love tap, and then you would have been viral.
And then I would have been viral.
There you go.
All right, well, it was good in that.
So here's Staley bouncing off a hit for a couple of yards.
I'm sure that Nick Caso's got this replay queued up, but on that fourth down play, Ashley Ridge really ran a great trick play. It was Ratcliffe throwing back to Duncan, but overthrew him.
They had it.
It was well done.
Yes. The play was there. Ratliff, while he is the H-back, is also the backup quarterback. You can probably see it from the tight spiral that he threw across the field. Quarterback keeps, and we'll set up 3rd and short. All right, let's go back to this 4th down play.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at that ball. Just missed.
Yeah. And you know what? What I missed is right before that snap. You see Ratliff wiping his hands off on the towel, drying him up, getting ready to sling it.
In baseball, they would call that a tell for the pitcher.
Yes. Big 3rd down play.
And it looks like somewhat of a busted play, but it could pick up the first down. It will. Mitchell Brown gets just what's necessary. And that goes back to what Dean pointed out about this offense. If they can pick up 3 yards of play, more than happy with a 4th and 1 type situation.
Well, at some point in time, Coach Zier had to pull him aside and say, we got to hold on to the ball, right? Just hold on. Do not put the ball on the turf. Nothing good's going to come from it. It's going to be a loss. It's going to be no gainer. It's going to be a turnover. But you can see when this offense clicks like it did on the last drive, it can be effective.
Staley takes this one away from Mitchell Brown,
like
rumbles his way down close to the 30. Khalil Whitaker, number 1, caught up to him.
That's the 3rd long run by Leon Staley going on the left side. And I know I've got all day to talk about this, and so I don't know if this is the right time to talk about it. But there's no better offensive line coach for this offense than the one Cane Bay has.
Jeff Bleemer's been at high levels doing this type of offense for years.
Yep. Tyler Gibson, I believe, inside. So Bleems, when I came here to do Sports in 90, Bleems was the offensive line coach for the Citadel with Charlie Taft when they would sling the ball maybe twice all year. Right?
Yep.
So there was no question. They ran the wishbone. His offensive line was the diesel, and they would just run the diesel, and they were excellent. Get some fresh legs in there. That's when Everett Sands and Travis Jervey and they would run. I mean, Everett Sands, who I believe is at Coastal now, he spent some time at UTEP. His nickname was simply the Sandman because, I mean, he would lay people out and knock them out. He was one of the most bruising running backs I've ever seen. And when Travis was there, that was crazy speed.
I actually learned a little bit more about the flex bone last weekend. This one, I believe, was Gibson. And we got a late flag in. So guys around Cane Bay would know the name Kenny Wheaton very, very well. Maybe not as much so on the Ashley Ridge sideline. Kenny Wheaton is known in flex bone circles. All right, we got a personal foul here against the Swamp Foxes, so first down for Cane Bay. As the father of the flex bone, he coached it at very high levels in Texas and in Oklahoma. Over 30 years worth, and coaches regularly put on camps for kids over the summer. Yeah, he puts on camps for coaches
on the flex bone.
On the flex bone, and is currently calling plays for a nationally ranked Division II team, Harding University.
Did you have them last weekend?
I did. Otherwise, I never would have come up with that story.
It's a good story.
I can make it a little better for you. It'll be a second down and goal here. So he wanted back in coaching so badly, he contacted the Harding staff, said, I want in. They didn't have money for him, but he still drove 2 hours each way to practice and has been calling plays for them for about 8 or 9 years, unpaid until last year when they've given him a consultant title.
Listen, the flex bone's not flashy. It's not sexy, right? You're not going to light up the scoreboard if you're a wide receiver, but it's a disciplined, committed offense. And you watch.
Ashley Ridge took a timeout. They were late getting Clayton Williams off the field, so that's their final timeout.
But it is dependent on everybody has an assignment, and they've got to do it every single play.
Yes.
From the wide receiver that's split out. I mean, and I've been watching these wide receivers at Cane Bay. They have been holding their blocks the entire play.
Right. And a lot of times you'll see this formation and quickly simply say, hey, it's a triple option. Triple option is an element of the flex bone. It's something you can run out of it. All right, let's check in again with Brooke Schwieters. I believe we have an educator spotlight down there. All right, we had some technical difficulties down there with Brooke, so we will.
Full moon fever.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Strikes again.
Weird things have happened today. If you missed the Open, you missed one of them. Our live read cards disappeared. All sorts of stuff.
Pitch it.
Mitchell Brown does not want to pitch it.
Nice.
He wants to go through Jaron Strickland for the night's first touchdown. And the Cobras take the first lead with 1:55 to go in the half.
They come off a first down play that gets barely any yards at all this time. He's going to go ahead and keep it. He gets great seal block to the outside. The end crashes down thinking he hands it off on the inside. He's not going to pitch it. He's going to take it in. It's a nice play by Xavier Mitchell Brown. What can Brown do for you?
He can give the Cobras a lead on the road. Oh, that one just snuck inside that right upright for Presley.
Doesn't matter. Still good.
It is. 7-3. Let's check back in with Brooke.
All right.
Guys, Friday the 13th strikes again. Microphone becomes unplugged and the opposing team scores. What else can I ask for today? Besides talking to the athletic director here at Ashley Ridge, because you've got a lot of cool stuff going on. This is Randall Tucker, like I mentioned, the athletic director. Okay, your field looks beautiful tonight. You had some volunteers helping. Tell me about that.
Yeah, thank you for noticing that and coming out here tonight. I would have to give a shout out to our agriculture department. That's Coach Gibson, Miss Attaway, and Miss Killen, and all of the tremendous students that do this stuff for us. They come out here. It's kind of built into some class time. It's built into some after-school club time. But they come out here and get everything painted, work with the stencils, do all the work, and they put out a fabulous product. We're very proud of them. We try to showcase them in the program and do everything that we can to help take care of those guys.
You really do, and you really have an awesome turnout tonight. Does this just go to show, how much school pride your students have?
Yeah, I think so. Any of our athletic events, they're well attended. A lot of parent involvement, a lot of student involvement. The student section is great. It doesn't matter if they're doing well, not doing well. They stay behind them, and it really is a Fox family.
It really is. All right, thank you so much, Randall. Dean, Darren, guys, I'll send it back to you.
Hey,
good luck.
Brooke, next time somebody asks you to work, check the calendar, make sure it doesn't say Friday the 13th. Look at the lunar calendar, make sure it's not a harvest moon.
I'm telling, it's just weird, odd things. Someone told us before the game, I don't believe in any of that stuff. Well,
you wacky stuff was going to happen.
See if the Swamp Foxes can answer that Cobra's touchdown here late in the half. This is a heck of a start for them. Salmons angling towards the sideline, wrapped at the legs by London. They'll spot him down at the 37.
Nice job by Salmons to split the defenders, but if you go back to the kickoff, and they tried to squib it, and they squibbed it not to a lineman, they squibbed it to Owen Ratliff, the wide receiver, who was able to pick up some good yardage and set up this field position.
Duncan out of his hands quickly. There's Ratliff once again. And remember, the Swamp Foxes don't have a timeout. They had to burn their last when a lineman was late coming off the field. Here's the kickoff, the squib kick. Great idea, wrong guy.
That's right.
So time ticking off here for Duncan, who has all day and has a little bit of miscommunication there with Rashard Brown. Both looking at the other.
You talked about this offense never being like a heavy pass offense.
Yeah.
But I really like this offense when it's up-tempo.
Yes.
Right? It's up-tempo, it's quick.
Some of that by default at the moment.
As Duncan was looking at his receiver here, wondering which route he was going to take, he had wide an open receiver on the top of the screen, one-on-one against a shorter defensive back. Let's see if he goes back this way.
They're setting up the screen. That one is good to Grant, who gets that first down. So it'll stop the clock with 57 seconds left in the half.
I don't know how much Grant weighs, but he plays a lot bigger than he weighs, I'm telling you right now.
Ashley Ridge does not officially list height and weight. Some of the websites, recruiting sites do. So I've got him unofficially at 160 as Duncan comes back the other way to Ratliff. And now they got to hustle. That's about a 4-yard gain, tackled inbounds.
You're going to spike it here.
Lateef Sharp with the tackle.
Kane Bay's going to do him a favor, take a timeout. That right there was a senior play, and we'll explain that in just a minute.
Down to Brooke Schwieters we go.
Yeah, Dean, Darren, another great quarter here. We're at 7-3, as you guys have been talking about right now. Now we're joined with another addition to tonight's game, Staff Sergeant Whitehead with the Marines. So you got a recruitment station over there. I've seen some kids doing pull-ups. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, my name's Staff Sergeant Whitehead, like Ms. Brooke here just said, and I'm the new Marine Corps recruiter in Summerville, South Carolina. I cover down on Ashley Ridge High School, so I'm just coming out just to get my name, my face out in the area because we just opened up a new recruiting station next to the Planet Fitness. So I'm just showing my face, saying hey, shaking hands and kissing babies.
Oh, I love that. And so you guys have a really great opportunity for students to get scholarships. Tell us a little bit about that.
We do. We absolutely do, Brooke. You're right. It's called the NROTC Scholarship. It stands for the Naval Reserve Officers Training Corps Scholarship. And it's a great, phenomenal way for young seniors and juniors to get involved, get the opportunity to get up to $180,000 in school tuition fees and supplies. So come on and see us for some more information.
Absolutely amazing. All right, Dean, Darren, I'll send it back to you.
So new recruitment office open now next to Planet Fitness.
But Duncan misfires on that one, setting up a 3rd and 4. Again, no timeouts. 31 seconds if you're not going to pass it to the edges. You got to look to the end zone or be really well organized if you're going across the middle.
They've attempted a couple field goals today. They are 1 for 2.
Ratliff's in the slot.
Duncan being chased from behind to the end zone behind Salmons, who had kind of coffin cornered himself back there with 3 different white jerseys around him.
I think he wanted him to cut out towards the corner, and he made more of a right turn.
Absolutely. So this will be from 36 for McCune. Busy first half here for McCune. That one tumbling sideways, hooks it left. So Cane Bay's advantage remains 4 with 21 and a half seconds left in the half.
Oh, yeah. Peanut butter jelly time.
Absolutely. Brought to you by Synovus, the Peanut Butter and Jelly Blitz. Every week, the 2 schools being featured have the opportunity to bring peanut butter and jelly to their school. And so far, Synovus, in the last couple of years running this, has raised thousands and thousands of pounds of peanut butter and jelly, split between that all goes to the Low Country Food Bank. And then the winning school gets a designated amount of money per week as well. So a great thing Synovus is doing about the peanut butter and jelly collections at the various Friday night rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet locations. Cane Bay's knee will take us to the half. 2 solid drives, one of them ending in a fumble, another one ending in the sophomore quarterback Mitchell Brown's touchdown run. And that touchdown run, the difference after a couple of quarters of play. Cobras leading at 7-3. As we wait to hear from Coach Zaire, we remind you coming up at the half, lots of good things, including the Rockstar Cheer of the Night, your chance to get interactive with us, and plenty more. We've got our Student Athletes of the Week. On a nice, comfortable evening for high school football. Really started to cool off nicely, just a little bit before kick.
Nice of Coach Zaire to take the 100-yard jog. Come join our Brooks Schweeters for a little sideline interview.
Get the exercise in when you can, especially with the lead. You're more willing to do it. Brooks standing by with Coach.
All right, Coach Zaire. Few mistakes early on, but you took a lead 7-3. How are you feeling?
It wasn't pretty first half. It's a 4-quarter game. Defense played well in the first half, but we got to get some offense going if we have a chance to win.
Yeah, and what are you guys going to say to what are you going to say to the guys in the locker room?
Well, hopefully we'll learn how to tackle in halftime because we didn't do a very good job in the first half, but we just got to regroup and protect the football.
All right, good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
His offense accounts for 121 yards of total offense, all of that coming on the ground, about 5 yards a carry. And despite being outgained by Ashley Ridge, it's the Cobras who lead it. Coming up, our Roper St. Francis halftime show from Dorchester County. halftime show presented by Roper St. Francis Healthcare, taking care of you and your loved ones in the Charleston community. Well, David Ayler has been a part of Friday Night Rivals for many, many years now, always highlighting scholar athletes. Here he is with Scott Eisberg.
Alongside David Ayler from the Ayler Law Firm, the scholar athlete is presented to you. Why do you do it every year?
Well, it's not just me, it's my whole firm that puts it together, and it's a big support for it for one main reason. You're looking at a lot of great, talented athletes that are students, and they're going to be moving on to excellent careers in some field, but they got to get that education part first, and that's where we come in.
How special is it for you to see these kids as they move on? I know we covered one of them in the Cotton Bowl last year down in Dallas. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome just to see where they start at the school year, and then, when we go at the end of the year and look at where they've done just within that last year, not even mentioning everything they've done already up until the point to be elected, a nominee. So it's really hard, though, at the end.
For you, you're a member of this community. Your law firm is a member of this community. Nice to kind of be entrenched in high school football, such a deep fabric of this community.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got so many people that still talk about their high school days from, decades ago, and to see the kids that are still involved in the high school football, as well as so many different athletic events and different, sports that they're playing. And you see that really transcend when they get into college, no matter what they end up doing, whether they carry on that career or they just carry on the education side, which, of course, is the most important.
That's David Ayler. Congratulations to this week's Scholar Athletes.
Our scholar athletes this week, first for Cane Bay, Elijah Oswald, a 5.2 GPA. He is a track and field state qualifier in the 4x800 relay and is also active with children's ministry at church at Cane Bay. And there's Cameron Petrick, the offensive lineman. Not surprising, he is an intelligent one. They always say that about the offensive line. He's got a 3.87 GPA. He plays football, he wrestles, and he runs track. David Ayler Law Office's Scholar Athletes of the Week. The winner each week gets entered into the full drawing for the scholarship prize at the end of the year. More coming up on our Roper St. Francis halftime show from Ashley Ridge. It's your Roper St. Francis Healthcare halftime show, taking care of you and your loved ones in the Charleston area. Halftime here, 7-3, our score. Every week, we give our thanks to RKO Total Graphics for putting together our trophy that will reside in either the trophy case of Cane Bay or Ashley Ridge. After this game, they'll get to keep it, and it will surely be on display on the very top shelf of that trophy cabinet. Trophies and plaques brought to you by RKO Total Graphics. All right, let's see. Did we make it? Friday Night Rivals across the Low Country starts with Thursday in Columbus.
It's a really nice field, by the way. Watkins Memorial, Walnut Ridge.
Is anyone going to touch him?
No one's going to crack the walnut.
Except that guy. He will. And we're going to get another look at it. Yeah.
That's a nice stadium.
It is. Columbus has good football, I hear.
Pittsburgh.
So what is it with Pittsburgh? They always get on it.
The route.
Oh, they must be like playing Penn State with those jerseys.
It's a big market thing, right? We're just like little old 100 Market Charleston.
Look at this stadium.
Weber, Salt Lake City. Oh, that was nice.
That's a good throw.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Grandma loves it. Shelbyville Central and Page. Turn the page in Nashville.
Defenders collide and knock each other down.
Impressive. Another big market team. Stunning.
Well, I need a shot of a clock for this one.
That wasn't a hook and ladder. It was a pitch and ladder. That was awesome.
That was pretty.
Fresno. Let's go out to California, where most everything's legal, including this juke and jive. Should be illegal.
Look at this guy coming down leading the way.
Oh, then cut it back one more time.
He's run like 300 yards.
Breaking an ankle. Broken ankle. A Charleston highlight brought to you by nobody.
The Harvest Moon. We're going to blame the moon and Friday the 13th for not getting highlights in because corporate never puts us in. Oh, that's a good point. We did have a hurricane last week, so we didn't have any submissions.
Doesn't matter.
Huh. They could have used one from week 1 or 2.
Ashley Ridge Band, awesome tonight, by the way.
We'll get you out of here, bring you back for your cheer competition, your rock star cheer of the night as halftime continues. Roper St. Francis Healthcare halftime show rolling along here from Ashley Ridge. The home team trailing Cane Bay by 4, and it's your chance now. Get interactive. Go to abcnews4.com/poll. Cast your vote for the cheerleaders that you think do the best job tonight. The rockstar cheer of the night. Here they are.
Copper fans, instead, we want to see you. Stop, stop, and shake it. And shake it. Stop, stop, and shake it. And shake it. Copper fans, in the stands, we want to see you. Stop, and shake it. Stop, and shake it. Copper fans, in the stands, we want to see you. Stop, and shake it. Stop,
It's as easy as can be. abcnews4.com/poll. We'll update the results next quarter, and then we'll give you the final results as well. That's your rock star cheer of the night. Kenny Walker making his way over to Brooke Schwieters. He is there now. He tosses it down to Brooke.
All right, thanks, guys. Coach Walker here with me. All right, you're down 3-7. You were obviously able to move the ball and score. What needs to change inside the 20?
We need to capitalize. We need to execute better, take advantage of our opportunities when we have them, and we haven't done that. That's been the MO of the last 3 games we played, that we weren't able to make some of those plays in the game, and hopefully we're able to execute and make them in the second half.
And did the Dorian layoffs affect the team at all?
I don't think so. I think maybe a tad pregame warm-up. It felt like we haven't been out there for a while. Kids didn't know where to go half the time. But, all in that, we got settled in. I think everybody, it didn't affect us too much.
All right, second half starting in a couple minutes. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, I'll send it back to you.
Appreciate it, Brooke. We'll take a final timeout, get you back for the start of that second half. Ashley Ridge, Cane Bay, both sitting at 1-1 off a week off thanks to Hurricane Dorian. Second half, Stars and Strikes Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, is next.
Where do you live? Like Columbia?
Snow is a lot more fun than a hurricane.
Where do you live? Around here? What are you doing outside? A tree could have hit you right in the coconut. I'd been visiting you in the hospital. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Are you okay?
I'm telling you, snow is a lot more fun.
Off watching video games, because that wasn't a very smart move you made there. How about your brother? Did he go outside with you? He did?
I was eating a Pop-Tart. I'm sitting there eating a Pop-Tart, watching the rain.
Yeah, there he is.
Where?
Huh? Sunday, our game is 1:38. We must be a TBS game or something.
How many games back are you in the wild card?
138.
One?
Game back?
In the wild card?
Excuse me? No. We're not back of anything.
Oh, you're not?
No.
In the wild card?
No.
You're up?
Yes.
You had the first wild card.
We're up 3 on the Cubs, in fact.
In the wild card?
Yeah.
Who's behind the Cubs?
Milwaukee and the Mets.
I felt bad for them. How far back in the Mets?
2.5.
Of the Cubs?
Yes. And they're tied with the Phillies at 2.5 back. Mets are playing good ball.
Jack is pulling for Nationals World Series. Hard.
Yeah, I would too.
All right.
I mean, how long does it take him to get to the stadium? 30 minutes? 20?
On the Metro, like
yeah.
10 minutes?
Yeah. At least there's a crowd there.
He says sold out.
Yeah. It is typically the opposite many times. The players criticize our fan base a decent amount. And they're right. We're just waiting for the playoffs. That's our score as we get you set now for the second half. Couple of numbers in the first half for you. Ashley Ridge outgains Cane Bay 141-121. All of Cane Bay's offense came on the ground. Ashley Ridge on the ground at 69 yards, while Matt Duncan threw for 72. Individual leaders, Grant, 77 yards. And Staley, Grant had 46 yards, averaging 7.7. And Staley leading the way, the fullback for Cane Bay, 84 yards on 11 carries. The lone touchdown from the sophomore quarterback, Xavier Mitchell-Brown, for the Cobras.
Tell you what, Russell Zare's got to feel like a Philadelphia lawyer who just won a case that he shouldn't have in the first half. Well, Kenny Walker looking like he wants to eat a box of nails, right? Because, I mean, the flow of that game, I would have told you Ashley Ridge is winning 21-7 right now, if that.
It feels as though they were able to sustain more drives, at least hit on some more big plays. But, we only had 260 yards offense and 140 to 120, so it wasn't as lopsided as it felt. Cane Bay did have 2 long drives. One they fumbled away inside the 30, another one they scored. Here's Burgess now getting to the outside and close to the 30, where Cane Bay will begin. With Dean Stevens, ABC News 4 main anchor, I'm Darren Goldwater. We look around the area, and for Dorchester, I know their offense is good. This is going to be their 3rd straight shutout if Wando doesn't score. Cane Bay, Ashley Ridge, and Wando.
Well, that first week we saw them. I mean, it was like they could have played in the Big South.
No, it's a college defense. Bishop England, Philip Simmons, that's tied. We'll have BE on this air, in back-to-back weeks.
Right. This is a big series for Cane Bay to control the ball, pick up some yardage, control the clock.
Look at Staley. You want to control the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 Ashley Ridge defenders on him.
I'm going to tell you this, and I think Ashley Ridge has got to be careful because the flag's coming. I saw it on the kickoff after Cane Bay scored, and you see it right here. You see a late hit coming in after the pile. And the flag's going to fly here in a minute. They can't let that keep going on.
Prior to this year, Staley did not have any carries. Here he's got a couple of carries and a first down to begin this second half for Cane Bay.
So, Brooke Schwieters is new to ABC News 4. I don't know, she started working here a few months ago.
Okay.
Right? First time she's worked here for us. So she just tweeted, so I nearly got drilled by a very, very large high schooler on live TV.
I like the tweet.
Yeah, I do too. I'll tell you also I like, you keep on watching Xavier Mitchell-Brown play. He's just a sophomore. I mean, that kid on that first down run just was driving. That was all grit and guts.
You'll hear over and over again, any type of option-based offense, you get to year 2 under center, and the whole thing is night and day.
Right?
Yep. That speed of the offense, everything happens faster and typically on time, unlike this play, which will back them up. But certainly there are good things. I mean, even with the penalties, so you got the false start there, and there have been a few for Cane Bay, and the fumbles. They fumbled a punt snap and one deep in Ashley Ridge territory.
Yep.
There's no sense of them being rattled in any way, and granted they've got the lead.
Right, they had about a 7-minute spell there where it was not pretty. But again, you've got a 7-3 lead in a game where points are going to be hard to come by. Love that play.
Yep, a little bit of a counter here. That's the first carry tonight for Allen, and Allen all the way down close to the 30. It's about 26 yards there for Allen.
You can just keep gushing about Allen, but watch number 3, Keyshawn Smalls, playing big in the hole. He's the one that made this happen.
Kenny Walker said
that ball
today.
Come out. It looked like he was laying on top of the defender when it came out. No replay, no hood to go under here.
We could show you the replay. Here's Staley now. And Staley gets about 3.5. Here's another look for you.
Let's slow that down, Nick Queso. Like jalapenos in your queso?
Oh, no. That ball's not out at all.
Just say the ground caused the fumble.
He didn't fumble. It was in his arm when he stood up.
It's not in his arm when he stood up.
I don't know. I think it might have been. Cobra's on second down now. And this is one of the few times that Staley has been pushed back. I mean, the amount of load that Staley carries, when they played for Dorchester and picked up basically 100 yards, Staley had 66% of the team's offense. He had 68 yards rushing.
Well, I'll tell you, both he and Mitchell Brown are listed at 5'9", about 185. To me, Staley runs like he's about 220. And Mitchell Brown here got a big 3rd and 5.
Smalls is the motion man. Mitchell Brown keeps it, pinballs his way through the line. Yeah, that's a first down.
So you just keep grinding away on the ground. What did we talk about at the beginning of the game? Trench warfare, right? You win it in the trenches. In the fourth quarter, you just keep running them down, running them down.
The guy who made that stop you're going to hear a lot from next few years. Number 7, middle of that defense, middle linebacker, is a true freshman.
No.
You don't see that often at the high school level when freshmen are playing or starting, but Wilson does, and he's got the frame and the body that lets you think that when he's in the weight room for 3-4 more years, this guy's going to be a player down the line.
They've got him at 5'10", 185.
That's what he's listed at.
So his junior year, he puts on another, 20 or 30 pounds from now, right?
Yep.
And becomes just a 5'10", 5'11", just a thumper.
Yeah, maybe even gets an inch or two. I don't remember when I stopped growing. Too early, though. If it was possible to continue to grow, I'm all in. Second down here. Mitchell Brown stays on his feet after he took one up high from Hoyt, number 15. And we've got a manageable third down.
Well, that first down play, they went for a sweep, pulled nobody. There were 3 maroon jerseys right there. But both the left and the right side, Mitchell Brown has found a little seam between that guard and tackle. And has picked up sizable yardage.
They haven't gone outside much. A lot of it has been through the middle. It started when Staley was able to pop some. Then Mitchell Brown started to find a little bit of space. That's Staley one more time.
Jackson on the bottom of the pile. Yes, it is.
Haven't called his name nearly as much as the first quarter when it felt as though he was in on every stop.
No, that was a huge stop right there as he kind of splashed into that gap hole. I think Russell Zier's going to kick a field goal here. He's going to go no. Bleems is going to say crank up the diesel here.
Watching the Army-Michigan game last weekend.
Right.
Army's head coach was talking about, I got a card, and I just won't go, I won't vary from it. If it's 4th and 1, 4th and 2, I know when I'm going to go. Probably the same story here, but Jackson's in there
man.
along with Wilson.
That was your freshman you were just talking about, TJ Wilson. Watch him come on the backside and on the inside. And the baby suplex.
7-3 our score halfway through the third quarter as Ashley Ridge gets set for its first possession of the second half on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. still have time to follow the directions on your screen. abcnews4.com/poll. Vote for the Rockstar cheer of the night, the Swamp Foxes or the Cobras. And we'll give you that answer, well, a couple of minutes. Cane Bay turns it over on downs. Matt Duncan and Grant and this Ashley Ridge offense touch it for the first time this half. And there's a broken tackle, but his knee was down, huh?
Yeah.
That's the first catch for Strickland, who's predominantly a corner.
Austin Carter making a nice play. Working off the receiver, Ratliff, to come in and make the play.
Oh, yeah.
Knee goes down, leg goes down.
So it's the right call there. The Swamp Foxes want to get Strickland more involved because he's one of their veterans. Guy's been starting on the other side of the ball now for a couple of years and has some playmaking ability. Here they use him as a blocker for Grant, who runs into his back as he jumps on the line like a balance beam. So he's out of bounds.
I was waiting for the official to blow the whistle because there were some angry Cobras coming. You watch him. I'm not sure exactly when he steps out. If it's right there, right? That whistle's got to be blown. I'm surprised we've not seen the ball thrown down more. Let's see if they can work. Ratliff likes to find the soft zone over the middle. Let's see if you can find him here.
Duncan looking that way all the way. Has it complete. And that's good for the first down there to Strickland. As we go down to Brooke Schweitzer down there with James Spearman.
Yeah, Dean and Darren, you know, guys, there's so many great things about high school football. Rivalries, championships, concession stands, lots of good stuff, right? Well, there's also injuries that come with high school football. Joining me now is Dr. Spearman with the Low Country Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Okay, so what are some of the most common injuries that you see?
Well, in football, we see a lot of injuries to the shoulder, to the knees, and to the ankles. Different sports present with different injuries. So we have elbow and shoulder injuries in baseball, and leg injuries in baseball usually involving hamstring tears because players accelerate from sitting position. They sit and get up and run, and so they hurt their legs. In soccer, we see the usual injuries such as ACL tears and ankle sprains, so it depends on the sport.
Yeah, and so what are, really quick, some of the technologies that you utilize to treat some of these injuries?
Well, there's a lot of technologies. There's been a lot of developments over the last 30 years. We have a lot of new diagnostic techniques with MRI and other techniques. Arthroscopy's been around for years, and we use that a lot to decrease the amount of surgery, if you will, that's necessary. I think we talked earlier about concussions. One of the big things we have now is concussion protocols, which helps a lot with concussion injuries, which is in orthopedics, but it's a big part of the sports. And I think also a big thing that's going on now is prevention of injuries. So they have specific programs for like ACL tears preventions. So that's one of the things going on.
Yeah, lots of great stuff happening to treat athletes' injuries, especially high school football players. Dean, Darren, I'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Brooke. We want to check with him about lower back pain for older gentlemen calling football games, sitting on stools with not supportive backrests.
Yeah, I've been complaining about that all night. Duncan, I'm not sure if that was somewhat of a busted play or not, but he goes into Diamante Carroll, 35, the junior.
That was a third down call. We saw busted plays early in the game, but in the third quarter, after Cane Bay just reeled off about a 6-minute drive, they really needed to get something going there. And again, 3rd and 4, I'm not seeing him go back in the pocket and throw the football down the field.
Now they're late running.
Some confusion.
Chris Garland out there for protection on this punt. Oof, that was almost blocked. pretty close. Austin Carter got right in there, and this one takes a Cane Bay bounce. So a long possession to start this half. Then a first down for Ashley Ridge before they punt it away, and the Cobras with the lead have it around midfield.
And good. I think the thing not to overlook there, that Ashley Ridge defense was on the field for more than 6 minutes on that drive, even though they stopped them on fourth down. And so for the offense, not to give them more of a breather, only been on the field for about 3 minutes. And Cane Bay gets some great field position here.
We've already told you that ABC News 4 is the best meteorologist in town.
That's
They've
true.
also got the best sports staff in town.
That is true,
You know,
too.
because they were largely trained by the guy sitting to my right. Eisberg is now running the show, and tonight you can see him and Brzezowski with the complete wrap-up of high school football games across the Low Country tonight at 11 on Friday Night Rivals.
Brooke asked the question to Kenny Walker whether that layoff hurt the team or not. But, you know, we've seen more tonight than I think we've seen maybe all year long. We've seen guys come in on the field late, guys missing, lining up. Cane Bay has to use a timeout right there because coming off of a punt, the offensive lineman's late getting on the field. And
So-
I think that's where kind of there's something missing.
It's just
Or
it's
the
off
moon.
a little. Maybe it's the Friday the 13th harvest moon, or both coaches said, yeah, the week off, it affected us, but I think everything got back to normal. I don't know how the high schoolers in general were able to get back into their routine. I know for the younger students, it was hard.
Yeah, it was like a mini summer vacation.
Yes, our daughter is 6.5, so you get a week off after you finally adjust to your new teacher, your new school, the new kids in your class.
New wake-up time.
No, we're still waking up before the sun.
God love you.
And elementary school, I don't understand it. But then you get a week off, and then it's hard to get them back into the routine of waking up. Just the routine.
Maybe I'm making too big of a deal out of it. Maybe it's just like a bye week. Why didn't it be like a bye week? Well, you're not practicing.
Right, you're not practicing at all. That one intended for Makai Francis.
I like the play. And he threw a good ball, just was off the mark.
I'm not sure Francis turned around. Oh, yeah, he turns. It was Hyatt who did.
Yeah, Hyatt had no idea it was coming until it flew past his head. But he had enough time, and that's the other beauty when you only throw it 2 or 3 times a game. He had all the time in the world to sit back there and throw if he lets that play develop a little bit more.
And that'll be the one area of his game that certainly develops the most over the next few years. He has fewer than a handful of completions in the few games he's played. It'll be 4th down now. So Ashley Ridge defense comes up strong. A 3-and-out here for the Cobras with 2:20 left in the third.
Really like watching number 77 play football, Anthony Jackson.
You got to believe that Jackson, who's listed 6'1", 320, has an opportunity to play somewhere next year.
Somewhere. I mean, there's a lot of schools in town. But, again, I watched Charleston Southern not blink at my man, Raekwon Simmons, who ends up at Wingate. That guy is speed for days.
Don't sleep on the D2s. I got a trivia question for you, as this one will pin Ashley Ridge inside the 15. How many current
good question.
NFL players are from Division II on 53-man rosters, not just practice squads, but how many current 53-man rosters feature
So let's
a guy
say
from
there's
D2?
2,000 players in the NFL, let's just say, right? 32 teams, 53-man roster, roughly.
All right, well, as Dean tries to figure out the
Okay,
numbers.
wait.
Well, I
So
got to go
I'm
to an
just-
educator spotlight
Okay.
with Brooke. There you go, Brooke. I got him quiet for you.
Yeah, guys, I'm here with the away team's principal, Tim McDowell. All right, first of all, you're up 7-3, very exciting.
Exactly.
But we're not just talking about high school football. We're also talking about the school in general. You just started a few weeks ago. How are things going at the school?
Great. We're growing. We're about 2,025 students. Obviously, with Hurricane Dora, we were sheltered, but the kids bounced back this week strong. But I got to give a big shout out to my clerical staff. I think they're the glue that holds Cane Bay together. They're the kind of unsung heroes. And so, I just give a big shout out to the clerical staff. But, our CTE department with the ag and the EMS programs we got going on, just phenomenal what we're doing here at Cane Bay this year.
Yeah, and really quick, I know we mentioned this earlier, guys, but this is a really amazing act of sportsmanship by Cane Bay. So you guys obviously gave us a card. What was that like to see your team kind of come together and do just that?
First of all, Karen Ratcliffe runs an amazing program over here at Ashley Ridge High School, and I got the utmost respect for her. But the bottom line is, students are students no matter what school we're at, and so it's nice when we can rally around together and have a common cause, and it's just nice to be able to support, Ashley Ridge in this time of sorrow.
Yeah, and just to clarify, they did send a condolences card to Ashley Ridge after they lost a guidance counselor recently in an accident. So what an amazing, like I said, act of sportsmanship by your team.
Well, appreciate ABC News 4 and all they do.
All right, thanks, Tim. All right, I'll send it back to you guys.
Appreciate it, Brooks. So right behind you, the first down run there for Grant. Picks up the first down with about 30 seconds left here in third. And Ashley Ridge with the first good positive forward play of a significant amount here in this half.
Jason Centers just busting it down the field. An impressive run, or a blocker to run behind.
You've been all over Centers tonight.
I know. I should be invited to the Centers family brunch over the weekend. Just call 843-4.
just call ABC News 4. Maybe you can make that happen. Nifty move on the edge here for Andrew Weil. He was about dead to rights and picks up about 9. His first reception of the year.
Doesn't mind lowering the head and the shoulder pads to pick up a couple extra yards. 4 to the sky.
That means fourth quarter is coming up. See, we've worked together for a while. 12 minutes left. Stars and Stripes Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet in a 4-point game.
How many innings?
Let's head to the final 12 minutes of this Dorchester County rivalry. Cane Bay and Ashley Ridge. 7-3 our score after a scoreless third quarter. Alongside Dean Stevens and Darren Goldwater. A couple numbers for you. Ashley Ridge still with the lead in total yards, but it's been narrowed. 195-189. Duncan's completed 13 of his 20 for 98 yards. And Grant has led the way on the ground for the Swamp Foxes. 74 of the 97 team rushing yards have come courtesy of Troy Grant, number 3. Grant's not in there right now. They're going with the senior Cameron Catino. Similar running style, position to the left of Duncan to start this fourth quarter.
Grant was good early on.
Here's Duncan on the move, dumping it off. Good for the first down. That's Ratliff once again.
Devon London with the tackle. You know, I'm a big fan of open field tackles.
You should be.
I am.
Save a lot of big plays.
All right, I'm a big fan of like the guy on the line who gets no love and he's running 20 yards down the field with a block.
The extra effort stuff.
I like the extra effort guys.
Here's Coutinho. That wasn't there in the middle, and he won't go down, being slung around by Mitchell. We'll see where forward progress puts him. I think it'll be right around the line of scrimmage.
Jorian Mitchell comes up, makes a nice wrap up, and then he tries to just kind of whip him around.
Oh, the ball came out there and went out of bounds. I will say, since Ashley Ridge has been around, them in Cane Bay, 10 years, one of the sharpest uniforms in the Low Country. I mean,
who's that?
Ashley Ridge. You look at them and you think San Francisco.
Think the Niners,
absolutely.
Right? Even with the circle on the side of the helmet.
Everything. I mean, you think Steve Young. He's talking about the T.O. catch at the goal line in the Super Bowl a few years back.
Reverse coming up. Flea flicker coming up.
And the pitch back to Matt Duncan wasn't made. Brown gets swallowed up.
So if you go through, this is the crazy part, right? Yeah, I thought it was going to be a flea flicker. But I was wrong.
I think he wanted to.
But if you go the Zier's years, right? He's 51 and 45 in 8 years.
Okay.
51 and 45 in 8 years. Kenny's 56 and 52. That does not include their 1-1 record this year. They both had great success. They both have down years.
It's tough. This talent-rich area, intended for Grant there, brings up fourth down. It's a talent-rich area, but so many schools here now. Summerville, Fort Dorchester, Ashley Ridge, Cane Bay. So the talent pools are getting spread out.
Berkeley.
Yeah.
Right. Stratford. So 2 possessions here, the last 2 possessions, nothing for Ashley Ridge. I've been a bit surprised. They found, throwing down the field, Ratliff finding that soft area in the zone has been their most successful pass play. And their most successful run has been with Grant early on, right?
Yes.
Had the 50-yarder that was called back.
He still had
penalty.
a fine. Yeah. He's had a fine night, about 7 yards a carry thus far. But still, Ashley Ridge just can't get consistency on offense. And that's what's got them behind here by 4. And on the defensive side of the ball, against the Cane Bay team that has the ability to take off a lot of this fourth quarter clock as we get you back to Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Traffic cop. Alongside ABC News 4-man anchor Dean Stevens and Darren Goldwater with a spectacular crew helping us out here tonight. 7-3 Cane Bay leads Ashley Ridge. Time to give you the rock star cheer of the night. Normally the home team wins. Tonight is anything but normal. There's a harvest moon. It's Friday the 13th. And the road team not only won, but crushed Ashley Ridge. They got 85% of the votes. Congratulations to the Cane Bay Cheerleaders, who have taken tonight's rock star cheer of the night. So the issue right now...
It's not an issue anymore.
It's not anymore. There's someone called a red hat position, if you're not familiar with televised sports, and that guy's job is to make sure that action doesn't start until TV tells him. He was hanging out on the 30 for a while.
I think we had some miscommunication with the red hat, and he wasn't hearing, like, it's time to head over to Brooke Schwieters. When I was growing up going to Oiler games.
Oh, you're dating yourself.
That's all right.
Okay.
Somebody's got to date me. It was a big orange, looked like an oven mitt.
The NFL.
But it went all the way down to the elbow.
I believe the NFL still uses that.
Yeah, it was cool.
I believe the NFL does still use that big orange glove. All right, here's Staley. Spun around with that hit up high. That's Dubois, the junior. Probably the best returning pass rusher they've got. And it brings up third down.
Bottom line's this. They're able to control this ball for 5 or 6 minutes, and they finish it off with some points, a touchdown. They can ice this game. And you come off and again, they beat West Ashley 20-12. Goose Creek beating West Ashley right now. And then you get steamrolled by Fort Dorchester, and that's one of the things you're like, yeah, it was great to play against them.
Right. This is 3rd down and 4. It was incorrectly listed on the in-house scoreboard at first, and it's not going anywhere in the hands of Keyshawn Small. So the Ashley Ridge defense comes up here with this 3 and out.
Yeah, well done by the defense. Their third big stop to give their offense another chance.
Oh, they got it. What a spot.
Did they give it to him?
They did. Kenny Walker.
They're not even bringing
No.
They're not bringing the chains over.
Oh, Kenny's not happy.
I don't even think that's something you can eyeball from as far. Yeah, I think that was a mismark. I mean, if you go back, Nick Queso, instant replay machine, we'll look at that in a minute.
So they put it at the 33. I didn't even give it a thought.
I thought the first down was about the 34. I thought it was a good yard ahead.
I'm sorry, where'd they put it? 27?
Or yeah, right.
Right, I thought it was about the 30.
Right, that's where I thought it should have been right there. When you are scrambling and you are struggling.
Let's see, where'd you go down?
The 33 or the
27. It was closer than we gave it credit for. There's your freshman, TJ Wilson, in there like a lightning bolt to rip down Mitchell Brown.
That's a great thing about sports, too. First guy to come over and congratulate him is the senior, right? How many activities in school are you going to have a senior hanging out with a freshman and giving him high fives? You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But that is an impressive-looking freshman and a really impressive-looking senior.
Sports also, it gives you an avenue to work your way up the class ranks a little bit in terms of your favor with the older class.
Absolutely.
Because if you're out there helping these guys win,
right,
then you're in their circles. Mitchell Brown to throw. That one's low and down to a knee, it appeared. That was Burgess.
Burgess looks up, and what do you see? You see 7 bookends coming at you. You got double 7s, man, and you are just frightened. Brooke Schwieters, she wants in on the cheer action. No, we don't get no megaphone poll for Brooke Schwieters' dance move tonight.
She clearly did not want in on the football action because 2 or 3 times has complained about almost being killed, but she wasn't even touched.
By very large high school players. Need a good punt here.
Who is a skill position guy.
Gets one.
It was still going Cane Bay's way, but it was picked up. So Ashley Ridge has almost 7 minutes here. What do you want to see out of this offense here?
Well, I'm going to need to say this first. If for some reason Ashley Ridge comes back and wins this game, our player of the game has got to be Big 77. I don't know if we've ever given it to a defensive line.
I agree.
I'm putting Ratcliffe right over the middle in that soft spot of the zone. I'm not. Here comes the reverse. They set this up earlier, the flea flicker.
And this time they finally get it back to Duncan.
And they got him.
Salmons dropped it.
So that was so that was totally set up the last play. Absolutely exactly the same play. Really nice job of Grant getting in the way. So
look at this arm though for Duncan. I mean, that's just one
really well
thrown
ball.
Yeah.
A little bit behind him. That's what some people are going to say. Other people say it's got to be a catch.
I think both are true. It's a little bit behind him, but that's a ball that needs to be caught.
Now you got to step up. You got to be a senior. You got to make things happen.
And first, we've got a timeout for Ashley Ridge.
He's got to stop that. Just stop looking at the refs. Get back in the game. He wants a flag for a tackle after the whistle. Ashley Ridge calls timeout. All right, this is where, again, as a senior, this is where you step up. And this is literally where you throw it back to number 4, right?
Yes.
This is where you throw it back to number 4.
Give him another shot at it. Because you know he wants it.
Because I'll tell you right now, if I have to say one more time, Ratliff in the soft spot over the zone, I'm going to have 9-year-old Mason just bop me in the side of the head. But that's where they found their most success.
Let's get a check on our Will Lou Gray stop of the game. You think we're going to see a maroon 77 in on our Will Lou Gray stop of the game?
A 77 or a 7.
Never stop learning.
7 from the backside.
Lucky 7's right there. Your freshman, TJ Wilson. Will Lou Gray, never stop learning. Stop of the game. Right there.
And again, as well as Cane Bay's played, and as sloppy as Kenny Walker will tell you that his team has played, they're one big play away from taking the lead here.
They had it. You need one more big play. Duncan's got 3 receivers top of your screen, but it looks like it's a designed run for Duncan, who kind of trips his way over Andre Green to pick up positive yards. And Duncan
got a right.
It's tough to see what's bothering him.
I think he was. There was when he's down on the ground, a player comes in and hits him late. I think the way it looked with his head, maybe it was a little stinger.
It's something with the right side of his body, and he is the lefty. But who knows? What we do know, it's 3rd down. Grant bobbles it, turns on the Jets. That's the first down as he spins his way down close to the 35.
I think he's coming out of the game.
Yeah, his right arm, Duncan's, looks like it's just immobile.
But he's not coming out. So then you take one aspect of the game away now if you're Cane Bay's defense, right? Quarterback's not going to run the football.
True.
Ratcliffe back in the game. He's set up right over the left tackle.
And Duncan,
what do I know,
is running it, and he'll pitch it. Grant has no idea where it is. Look out.
At that.
Here
out
comes
of nowhere.
London. Nobody's going to catch him. Just like that, Cane Bay jumps on top by 10. We do have a flag now late at the 15-yard line.
You got 14 on the ground. I didn't see anything in the back side of that play. I'd kind of taken my eyes back to the midfield to look at Duncan. But he pitches it there. Eyes come off the ball. But London Bridge is falling down here 60 yards later.
Huge call coming up.
I missed the call.
I believe it is against Cane Bay on the run.
You run that back, Nikki.
So if it was at about the 14 or 15, let's see where they spot this thing.
Yeah, I was reading a little bit of some comments from Kenny after their loss to Berkeley. And the 2 words were just undisciplined and mistakes. Those were the 2 big words.
Yep. And that's not one you can pin on Duncan.
No.
It was the right pitch at the head of Grant, who's played so well tonight. It just slipped through his hands. Mitchell Brown isn't going to get a whole lot, although he was able to carry Whitaker for 9.
I'm watching the same play, and I'm thinking he got nothing.
I mean, Whitaker met him right away.
Well, let's see if we keep this play rolling until the very end and see if we pick up what happens. That ball literally dunked London with a clean pick. And it's crazy. There's nothing going on. I mean, there's nobody around him. That's where the flag's going to come down there.
Yeah.
We're not going to get it on that angle.
There wasn't anyone within 15 yards of him. So whatever Cane Bay did was that far behind the play.
And you're hoping if you're that Cane Bay player that team film didn't get it either. Right? All right, here we go.
This one could. I don't think that was it. It should be coming right about now. Right there.
Chippy? A chippy call or chippy play?
It didn't look like there was a whole lot there.
Didn't have to make the hit. Looked like the head was maybe out in front of the pads. So 2 big plays leading to 2 touchdowns taken off the board on both sides now because of flags.
Here's Mitchell Brown now. Got a nice block as he spins back inside. 3, Keyshawn Smalls, the running back, is the one who set one of those edges. That penalty, in some ways, can work for Cane Bay. I mean, it sure would be nice to be up 13 or 14-3 if they score. But now even a field goal dramatically changes things here because the clock is going to be down around who knows how low by the time Ashley Ridge gets.
Didn't Cane Bay have a 4th down at the other end of this field and they went for it when they could have tried a field goal?
Yes, 4th and 2, similar spot other end.
Late 30-ish, 40-yard field goal. It would have been deep. So that was my question. Do they have a field goal kicker, a dependable?
That is
We'll
potentially something we might get answered. It's going to be 3rd down and 2.5.
Just when you think Ashley Ridge's defense is spent, big number 77 gets a shot of juice, and all of a sudden he's in on that play.
Pickle juice, probably, right?
I don't think he drinks pickle juice.
All right, Mitchell Brown is stuck by Wilson. Man.
Watch this spot. Watch this spot. Watch the far rep. He's going to give him 4th down, but I don't even know how he got a yard.
Forward progress was given close to the line to gain. I'll tell you what, though, Wilson is getting better as this game goes along.
I don't see a field goal unit coming out unless they're going to call a timeout here. If they do, I'd let that clock run down until
whatever
Ashley Ridge just call a timeout.
Whatever happens, Cane Bay would have run that clock down to make a play or kick the ball. So Ashley Ridge stops it and has 1 timeout remaining. Our Cruise Chevrolet drive of the game. You can head out to Cruise Chevrolet where you've got a friend in the car business, or you can just find our drive of the game. And it's going to be this touchdown drive for the Cobras that was capped off by Mitchell Brown's touchdown run. It was late in the first half. Staley was obviously a big part of this drive, and then here is the touchdown run, the extra effort from the sophomore. It's our only touchdown of the night with 3:04 to play. So it's 4th and 1 officially. And as Cane Bay breaks the huddle, it looks as though they are going to kick.
You think?
No. I take that thought back. I do not think. I think they're going to go for it. And flags.
Where?
Well, there's 2 of them.
Yeah. Oh.
It's an illegal substitution
4,
on defense
6,
that
8,
gives
10.
Cane Bay the first
12,
down.
I think there's 12 players at Ashley Ridge. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, there's 12 players on Ashley Ridge's side of the ball.
And they haven't moved yet. So they still don't know who doesn't belong.
Well, if you're the 12th guy, I'm not coming off.
That's right. Not me.
I'm the 11th guy. You are the 12th guy, and that gives them a first and goal.
And it also, in essence, negates that timeout that Ashley Ridge took. They don't get it back, but now Cane Bay can easily run off more time. Mitchell Brown grabbed from behind by Cameron Petrick, our scholar athlete of the night from Ashley Ridge, playing both lines.
Cameron Petrick has been on your big board sheet over here.
Yep.
For how many years? 4 years.
4.
Right? We should be invited to the Petrick family barbecue this weekend as well.
I probably don't mention the offensive lineman enough, but you give him enough love, so maybe you get that invite. Precious seconds tick off after that.
They're going to bash it inside.
Are they in?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's carried the load all day, and you might as well carry it the last 4 yards.
10-point lead now. It's a 2-possession game, however you look at it. And despite being outgained by Ashley Ridge virtually all night long, I'm sure that's flipped now a little bit in Cane Bay's favor. But it is the Cobras that have the only 2 touchdowns of the night with 2:25 to go. And the Swamp Foxes can only stop it once. So their backs are up against the wall now, trailing 14-3 as Presley's extra point goes through. And the 2 teams who both began the year with a win followed up with a shutout loss at the hands of Fort Dorchester. But right now it's Cane Bay that has the inside track to the early 2-1 record. So for Staley right now, he has got Cane Bay back within 2 total yards. They've got 219. And let's get down to Staley. 22 carries, 123 yards, and a touchdown. So Staley has been the guy, unquestionably. 123 yards on the ground, 5.8 a carry, and that touchdown. And they've outrushed Ashley Ridge by over 100 yards tonight. Matt Duncan's completed a bunch of passes. None have been huge pickups, and the biggest one was dropped on the last drive. Speaking of drop, that's what happened to Brown.
Yeah, I think that was number 15, Devon London. Did he trip him up maybe? Stuck his nose in there? Because, again, that changes how we play out this last 2 minutes. If that is better field possession or a touchdown.
Well, here I think what we can expect to see down 2 scores is a little bit of Matt Duncan. They'll go fast. They'll leave it up to their senior who's committed to Temple and see if he can't pitch this thing around a little bit and at least get him down the field quickly for 1 score and give him a chance. Just a 4-man light rush into traffic. It's caught. Salmons. He's the one who caught it, the same one who had dropped that one down by the goal line.
There you go. Clock stops for the first down. See, to me, that's where the strength of Matt Duncan is, right? I mean, he's throwing darts right there.
When he can plant and drive like that. There's another completion. Brown will stop the clock with that first down, 14 more yards. So this is the benefit of having a Division I bound senior quarterback here. You can really push it down the field.
Under 2 minutes on the clock.
It's only taken them about 30 seconds to get to this point.
Another one.
Salmons, another first down. London was in on that stop, and it stops the clock again.
And that's what they were doing with Ratliff in the first half. Across the middle, find a little spot in the zone, sit down. You've got a quarterback with the arm strength and the accuracy to put it there.
Cane Bay hasn't brought any pressure on Duncan on these few plays of this drive. They rush 4, then stand him up as Salmons has a glance off his fingertips. And there's still something bothering Matt Duncan, who continues to hold his arm his right arm down around his hip. So not going to sit here and speculate, but obviously it's bothering him. And fortunately for him, it's not his throwing arm.
I think it was just a little stinger, the way the guy fell on his head.
Here comes pressure right at him. Duncan spins away. Thomas Allen had him, and now he goes down, but that'll be a flag. That's a horse collar from Carroll.
Get back to the get your guys together, huddle up. You got a quick play coming. You don't need to talk to the refs. You don't need to get to the guy who got penalized, right? You need to get your team back together, get a play running. You're going to pick up 15 yards or half a distance to the goal.
Yep. So that's Diamante Carroll.
You got to have that play ready to go. I mean, as soon as that ball goes down, that offensive line needs to be over it.
It's not an automatic first down, however.
Does it not become first and goal?
I believe it is still second down, even though the sticks have been dropped, because it did not cross enough of the line to gain. It was half the distance. Here's the fade into the corner, and he wanted Brown.
I like the air that he puts on that ball. The one he threw to Gabe Sammons earlier that he dropped. He puts a little air under that one. So does that play change a bit?
Yeah, and it is third down. I mean, that's obviously a huge call.
I mean, I don't understand
in
that
terms
call.
of the rules.
That's a personal foul.
It's a high school rule.
That's a.
Yep, I
all
agree.
my friend Jerome Singleton have that changed Monday morning.
But the clock stopped on the incompletion. This drive's gone about a minute thus far.
Ratliff to the left.
Duncan swarmed immediately, chucks it to the end zone, and it falls incomplete.
And all of a
Nichols
sudden,
is right in there.
Cane Bay's defensive line finding a way to put pressure on Duncan.
Yeah, they brought late pressure right up at him. Looked like it was 65 Peterson who came through. So clock stopped, fourth down. This is the game. They don't need a touchdown here, but an incompletion or failure to pick up the first down ends the game. Ashley Ridge has just one timeout left.
And not to belabor the point, 2 missed field goals tonight. Could be a 14-9 game right now.
Here's Duncan now, needs a couple yards, breaks the first tackle towards the pylon, and he's in. The 215-pound senior maneuvers his team down the field, doing a lot of it by himself. And on fourth down, he's got Ashley Ridge to the end zone for the first time tonight.
That's a senior leadership right there. That's what you want to see. You want to see your quarterback put your head down. You want to see him grind for those last 2 or 3 yards.
And now you got to go for 2.
I'm a big fan of a quarterback that's about 6'3", 225 that wears the number 11 in college football. And he plays similar. And then through time, you just become a leader. You learn how to lead. More through your actions, not your words.
Here's the 2-point try for Duncan, and
Flag
it's there
down.
to Sammons.
Flag down at the 5.
In the area of holding.
In the area of offsides.
That would be closer to the area where it is, yes.
In the area of the flag, people need to maybe offsides.
Ball start.
Flag girls need to drop their flag. They're heading back left.
The scoreboard's also heading back. So they'll take that 2 off the scoreboard and have another 2-point try. These are untimed downs, so this isn't.
I don't know if we have a wide angle or a shot from up top that shows that entire play, but I think they called it from Rashard Brown. He was the one seemingly pleading his case. They do have a play clock running, though, don't they?
They do, even though the play clocks are not functioning in the stadium tonight.
Because of the moon.
Probably. Everything else is the moon's fault. 2-point try. Duncan never lets it go. A flag is now in at his feet as he's planted again by Peterson. And this penalty is declined because it did not result in 2. So it'll be 14-9 and Ashley Ridge kicking off with only 1 timeout left. Time for our Stars and Strikes getaway play of the game. Our getaway and play of the game. Is it Duncan? No, it's not. It's London scooping up the fumble. The touchdown was taken off the board, but that was probably because he wanted Staley to find the end zone. 120 yards and change for Staley tonight with that touchdown. And here comes the game. Ashley Ridge attempting an onside kick here. Games between these two teams, seems like we see them a lot. They're very often close.
Well, interesting you should bring that up. It's a 7-6 advantage, Ashley Ridge.
Oh, is that ball going to make it 10 yards? No.
It's a 7-6 advantage.
No. Ashley Ridge sideline is telling him to pick it up and run. You can't advance the onside kick. It also did not go 10 yards, so Ashley Ridge can't pick it up. And the only way they can get it is if, Cane Bay touched it first? And are they now saying that? That can't be right.
Nick Queso, we're going to need you on this replay quick.
Hang on.
Here's the player of the game.
Player of our game, which is Staley. We just gave you his numbers. A little bit more than 120. The touchdown. And
the right hand is up.
Yeah, I know you don't see it. You're watching this package here of Staley. And it's going to be first down, Ashley Ridge.
At the 50-yard line.
My goodness.
So that ball doesn't go 10 yards.
So it's touched, according to the officials, by Cane Bay.
Number 5 comes into the play. Number 42's knee hits it.
So 42 touches it there?
Tyler Gibson's knee comes in. Looks like he touches it before the Ashley Ridge kid does.
Oh, wow.
And Russell Zare's out on the near hash on the far side.
That's not something you might ever see called again. All right, let's scale it back. Maybe this year. I mean, the ball doesn't go 10 yards, but Ashley Ridge has life and a timeout. And suddenly you think, wait a second, this is all in front of them. And it's almost intercepted off the hands of Brown.
We're seeing the ball go off of several hands of Ashley Ridge players tonight. You got a quarterback with a bad wing.
I don't know if Gibson
I didn't
touched
see
it
from
first.
That side. I thought the overhead view, I thought that was the best view.
It was hard to tell whether or not Gibson got that first or if it hit.
We'll have plenty of time
Ashley
to go back
Ridge.
and look. But like you said, how many times? 1 timeout left, right?
Yeah, you only got to go 50 yards. You got a quarterback who can throw it the distance himself. A little bit more pressure from Cane Bay, and Duncan pushes one down the field. There was a receiver in the area in Salmon, so that will not be intentional grounding.
All right, watch the right knee of number 42. And I don't think Andre Green touched it. We can go backwards.
I mean, doesn't it look like it's Whitaker, number 1, who gets it first?
No, the ball hit right there.
On the knee?
Or Whitaker, yeah.
All right, third down. They swing it out to Grant in space. Grant got out of bounds and got the first down. Big time play for the junior Grant.
Here's my other question. Why shouldn't that ball been whistled dead when it comes to a stop? Could it have been?
It was.
Should it have been?
That's why they could not advance the ball.
But if the referee called the ball dead, once it stopped rolling, does it matter who touches it?
Yes, it does matter. Well, because it wasn't whistled dead.
That's my question.
Duncan doesn't have it on his first look as Peterson's in his face. Now Duncan wants Salmons, and it's just out of his reach with 41 seconds to play.
He put some nice air under that one. Salmons had Green beat down the left side. Moves the pocket. Really well done.
And
you said,
if Duncan has a chance to set and throw, he probably puts it in the right spot.
Cane Bay's defensive line, hands on hips. They've been asked for a lot of big stops in the second half.
Now Duncan out of his hand quickly. Salmons, couple guys around him, right around the chains. Forward progress has him at the 29. That's a first down.
Salmons just stops, turns around. Duncan puts it right in the money. Beats his own coverage. Green with the tackle. We've not seen Ratliff touch the ball. He's in the middle.
Still a timeout. That is a long throw right there. That's a big time throw for Duncan, and out of bounds goes Grant, saving that timeout with 23 seconds to go.
That's a college football throw.
Yes.
When you're far hash and you go all the way across the side. Opposite side of the field.
I think it's actually one of the better throws he's made tonight. So clock is stopped, a chance for them to get a play in from the sideline. Probably two. Needing a touchdown here because of the penalties. Oh, and now there's some confusion.
Now you got to call your timeout here when you don't want to call it there.
Cane Bay took the timeout. They had just run Ladson out onto the field and late, and Cane Bay takes the timeout here. Duncan and this offense have been a different story in the last 2 minutes of this game.
The last
2.5
possessions,
minutes.
right?
They got the ball, 2:20 to go, one timeout, and down 14-3. Hadn't moved the ball all half. Hadn't found any consistency really all game. At least anything sustained. And then all of a sudden, it's let's get this thing out of Duncan's hand quickly, let him drive it downfield. And the line stood up for it. Second down and 5.
Salmon's at the bottom of your screen.
Duncan Brown down to make the catch.
Dropped it.
He did drop it. It's laying on the turf down at the 4.
I think he's holding his right arm as well.
He went down and got himself in position. Tough break.
People in the press box want to say it's a catch. I think once he...
It's not a catch.
I don't think he ever had possession of it to call it a catch.
Never a football move. He went down to make a play, and that ball was out as soon as he hit the ground. It's a heck of an effort. Yeah, never secured.
Yep.
So third down. Swamp Foxes still with a timeout and can stop it with a first down. Duncan, that's complete for the first down.
Now you got to use the timeout. Will you
stop the clock here? Yep, Kenny Walker will. That's Strickland's second catch of the game.
So you can get with 14 seconds left. Here are the things that can't happen. You can't take a sack.
Yep.
Or to the end zone. Unless, but again, that means you got to get to the line of scrimmage. You got to spike it for one final play. But I think he's got to go to the end zone, don't you?
Unless it's a very quick play over the middle and you think you've got the discipline to get up, get to the line, get set, and spike it and leave yourself a second or two.
Right.
I wonder how much input Matt Duncan has with Bobby Marion, with Kenny Walker, as they decide what they're comfortable running.
Well, Salmons has been his go-to guy in the second half. Ratliff is set up inside. I think he's got to look at number 12 on the inside. You see him at the bottom of your screen. And if he's not there, you just launch it deep into the scoreboard. You can get 3 plays off here in 14 seconds.
Duncan for Brown, and it's in and out of his hands. Brown ran the right post and had his man beat, and Duncan put the ball on the spot.
First toss, tough to catch for Brown. That one's got to go up. Your hands have got to be together and bring it in.
Clock stops, 10 seconds left.
Again, you've got 3 receivers here to the left.
Only 10 seconds to play.
I think Ratliff's your guy you've got to go to. He's got the hands.
Grant's in there protecting him.
He's double teamed.
This play's taking a long time, and Duncan throws it away.
Great play. Leave yourself one last play. But Ratliff cut across the middle. As soon as he goes across, the linebacker trailed, the safety picked him up, and he was never open. But that's where he was going the entire time.
No timeouts, really one play here. This is it. You don't have time to get it out of bounds and run another play.
No, this is for the money here.
This would go down as one of the better wins in the 4 years of Matt Duncan. Ashley Ridge had 3 points until about a minute ago, and now they have a play for the win. The line holds up. Duncan, incomplete. He wanted Salmons.
Green undercut the route. And Kane Bay comes up with, I'd like to say, a stunning win, but it was a stunning win.
Nicely done by the senior Andre Green to have a sense of what was coming, and as Dean pointed out, undercut that route. And Duncan comes up just a couple of yards short of quite a dramatic comeback. So Kane Bay wins it. They get a rushing touchdown from Mitchell Brown, their quarterback, and another rushing touchdown from Staley, which eventually proves to be the game winner as Kane Bay moves to 2-1. Ashley Ridge closes with 312 yards of offense, which is almost 100 more than Kane Bay. Duncan finishes 22 of 41 for 205 yards. But it's Kane Bay who wins it, and we'll have the trophy presentation when we get back to Ashley Ridge. alma mater being sung by the Swamp Foxes, as right behind them, circled and huddled up at the 10, are the visiting Cobras, who win this one on the road and did so with that dominant rushing attack led by Staley's 120 yards and some change in that game-winning touchdown. Inside that huddle, our Brooke Schwieder stands for the trophy presentation.
Yeah, Dean Darren, I'm here with the Cane Bay Cobras, the champions of this game. How are you guys feeling right now?
Excited, scared, because the last 2 seconds.
All right, Leon, so you are the Marine Corps player of the game. Coach, oh my goodness, that onside kick at the end, what was your thought when it changed?
I was thinking we weren't smart enough to win this ball game, but somehow it worked out.
And Ashley Ridge knocking on the door at the end, guys. What was your strategy going into those last 2 minutes?
The biggest thing we wanted to do is just keep everything in front and not let them cross the goal line. Hands up to our coaches and players. We made some adjustments there at the end, and they played like football players, did the right thing.
All right, how are you going to take this energy into next week's game?
Week by week. Trying to get a little bit better every week. Tonight we were good enough.
All right, we're going to hand off the Stars and Strikes Championship Trophy. Thank you guys so much. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a wrap from Ashley Ridge. Cane Bay holds off a late charge from Matt Duncan and the Swamp Foxes and turns them away by a final score of 14-9. Next week, we head to Timberland. Bishop England will travel up there for Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Don't forget, coming up tonight at 11, you've got Friday Night Rivals with Iceberg. Many thanks.
Channel 1, Channel 2. Channel 1, Channel 2. Channel 1, Channel 2.